everybody. Welcome to USO's Coffee Connection Live. As Danielle said, I am Liz. I'm a program manager with the USO Military Spouse Programs team, and we are so happy that you're here to join us today. We are super excited to have Elise Harris with us. Elise, we can't see you just yet, but if you want to go ahead and turn on your video, I will toss it over to you to introduce yourself, because everyone is super excited to be here to hear from you today. There she is. Isn't she gorgeous, everybody? Elise, go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone who's watching.
Hey everyone, my name is Elise Harris and I am the Diva chef.
All right, Elise, tell us where you are calling in from today. Obviously, we're all at home. Where's home for you?
Home is the DMV area, but specifically Woodbridge, Virginia.
All right. All right, so Elise, take us back to the beginning. I mean, we introduced you as the Diva chef, but there's so much more to you than just that. Tell us when you decided to become a chef. Where did you study? Where did you grow up? How did you end up on reality TV? I mean, take us back to the beginning and give us a quick overview.
So I've been cooking all my life. I started cooking 9 years old. I remember my first meal was like Cornish hens, and the thought process of a 9-year-old is, should I thaw these out before I cook them? I grew up in a single parent household, so that's how I got into cooking. I really just enjoyed it. I remember cooking my first Thanksgiving meal by 11 years old. I went to culinary school, and it's funny because I actually wanted to go to college to be a meteorologist. I was on TV in 4th grade and I got to do the weather. And ever since then, I was bit by the bug. I just remember like the lights and just the environment. But I ended up going to culinary school and following that passion. And it's funny how they both collided. Later on in life, I basically walked into an audition. I know everyone was, I used to be a fan of Hell's Kitchen, and I would just watch it and be like, oh my God, how can they not like cook this X, Y, and Z? How are they like falling to pieces like this? What is going on? If it was me, you know, I'd X, Y, and Z. And so a few friends encouraged me to walk into an audition, and I put it off to the last minute, and I was like, I'm not gonna go. And then I woke up at 3 in the morning with that panic of like, you're supposed to be somewhere, kind of like you're late for work or something. And so I walked into the audition 2 minutes before they locked the doors, and it was kind of history from there. I was on season 9. I finished Last Woman Left Standing, 3rd place. And then years later, it was ironic that they called me like, hey, would you like to come back? And I was thinking, no, but I did anyways, and did Hell's Kitchen All-Stars. A few other shows I've been on is NBC Food Fighters. I've been on Après Ski on Bravo, and a few other cooking shows.
That's amazing. I think I speak for many military spouses when I say all of reality TV is sort of keeping us alive right now, particularly Bravo. Do you have a favorite memory of being on any of those shows or any of those experiences?
Definitely, I would say it was a lot of growth. But my favorite thing that I remember is that Gordon Ramsay called me extraordinary. And so it's not often where someone said, hey, you're extraordinary, you know? So.
Wow. Wow. Did you get along with the other contestants on the shows that you went on? I mean, we see what we see on TV, and obviously through editing and who knows what else, they create characters. But what was it sort of like to be really on reality TV?
It was an experience. I'll say that it was definitely opportunity for character building and growth for me as a person. I feel that I was super honest and true and transparent to who I was. And it was hard relating to people who were okay with like throwing you under the bus, being backstabby, and then the camera's off and you want to be my friend. It's like, no, we're going to keep that same energy.
I like it. And clearly you stayed true to yourself, which is why you did so well and why Gordon Ramsay called you extraordinary. And I think that's super cool. Do you have a soft spot? I mean, we know you as the Diva chef, and you're very tough and you're very strong in the kitchen, but do you have a soft spot?
Well, let me first say that the Diva chef, they called me that on Hell's Kitchen because I would wear lip gloss to the kitchen all the time. And I know I've never really fit in the mold of what they thought a chef should look like, be like. And so I took that and I spun it to something positive. So it stands for deliciousness in various assortments. And now looking at where I'm at in my career, it's like, I do this, I wear many hats. And so it really is true. And it's funny that all those years, you know, ago when I came up with that acronym, to see it like really come to fruition now. Definitely I have a soft side. I will say my soft side is my family, but I really love helping people reach goals that they seem to have struggled with. I get really attached to my clients when they come to me and they say, hey, I've tried all these things. I haven't been able to. I love believing in people. And so that's definitely my soft spot when someone comes to me and I can tell all they need is a little confidence. All they need is someone to believe in them.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Well, you mentioned that you wear many hats, and I think it's a perfect segue because you're not only a chef, you are also a fitness trainer. Can you tell us more about the other side of your professional life?
Yeah, so I was always like the skinny fat chef. A little bit of background about a chef. I'm for real. Like, chefs aren't typically fit because, quite frankly, we just don't have time for ourselves. We don't have time to eat. When you're working in that real kitchen environment and you're on the line and you're serving people, you really will look up at the end of the day. You've worked 10, 12 hours and you haven't eaten anything. So you kind of just get whatever you can get your hands on as you're working throughout the day. It's usually not healthy selections. Before I found myself a military spouse, I went through a really bad divorce, and it kind of set me on the path that I am now. I was depressed. I was unhappy with myself, and I walked into a gym. It's funny because it was a Planet Fitness, and all I would do is run. And then it seemed like my fitness life went in stages. I learned how to lift weights, and I just fell in love with it because I felt like it was a positive outlet. And fitness is a lot like a marriage. You get out of it what you put into it. And so it went from there, and I found myself working out with different athletes. And then I was introduced to bodybuilding because someone said, well, if you got off the treadmill and, worked your legs a little bit, you probably could compete someday. And I'm like, oh, I couldn't see myself doing it, but it was challenging. And I love a challenge. And so I did my first figure competition 6 years ago, and I got bit by the bug with that. My first time up there, I won 3 categories, first place in the overall. And then it was like, oh my God, I love this feeling. Because it's really hard work getting there.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. No, I was thinking, take us through that, because we asked a lot of people who registered for this webinar, we asked them questions when they signed up for it. And one of the questions that people had for you was, what advice do you give to someone who's just getting started with fitness? You said that you started with running, and then someone suggested to you, if you lifted some weights, you could compete. So take us through somebody who's first starting out. What should they do? More cardio or more weights, or what's your suggestion on that?
Well, first off, let me say, Elizabeth, your arms are looking very ripped right now. I'm trying to concentrate on the question. Your shoulders are looking nice and buff.
Well, thank you.
The advice that I give to my clients is just put one foot in front of the other, start day by day, and just get started. Whatever your goal is, break it up into individual goals along the way to the journey. Don't look at the finish line, right? Because fitness is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And you have to be able to go the distance in order to get to your goal. And so I just, one day at a time, you add a different goal every week until you look up and you're like, wow, I'm killing it. I'm a machine. So that would be my advice in getting started, is just one day at a time, one goal at a time, one foot in front of the other.
I love that. And that's so relatable, and that's so doable, especially right now where we're taking everything in such small steps with life. I'm curious how you're doing right now with life in quarantine, where, we had these worlds that were so big and we had everything we did, and now it's all compact.
Right.
Tell us how you're doing with wearing all these hats: mom life, spouse life, professional life. You have a business. I want to hear about your business and how you keep it going right now. Tell us what life is like for you now.
It's tough being in quarantine. I'm extrovert. And so I love people. That's why I'm in this business. And it is tough when you're like, I just have all this inspiration to give away. I'm sure my household is like, chill, like giving all these motivational, speeches every day and trying to get everyone to work out and stuff like that. But I really do honestly think on the other side of that, it's a blessing to be able to spend time with my family, to be able to really think about what's next for my goals and how I'm going to get there, and to write out the plan. And, a lot of us probably spend a lot of time saying, wow, I could do X, Y, and Z if I didn't work so much, or I wish I could do this, but I work so much. And so I encourage everyone to take this as an opportunity to pursue that goal, start that book that you wanted to write, start that fitness journey that you've been putting off because you work so much, deep clean your closet. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many things that we could be doing in this time that we put off because we're so busy. And so I think this is an opportunity for us all to slow down and really relish in the things that are important to us.
So true. And so many of us need to clean out our closets to get ready for the PCS that's coming whenever they release the PCS, right?
Right.
I forgot to ask you about your life as a military spouse. How did you meet your husband? What branch is he in? And what do you think of military spouse life so far?
It's unique. I would say being a military spouse is unique. I do have the privilege to say that probably 90% of my clients are military. And so I got a shock of reality on what that meant when I would get attached to my clients and they say, okay, thank you for everything. See ya. And you're like, what do you mean see ya? And then they move to somewhere far away and you never see them again. And so that was like the harsh reality I was introduced to, being, introduced to military spouse life. He is a Marine. So he is very strong in alpha and I am very strong in alpha. And so we try to figure out how to make it work, but it is really unique and interesting. And it's just, I feel grateful to be able to be involved in the community and be able to help people live their best lives.
That's fantastic. I love that. Yeah, yes to all of that, especially in their best lives and taking the circumstances that we're in, whether it's moving constantly as military spouses or being stuck at home as a quarantine person.
Right.
Making the best of it is all you can do. So how do we cook in quarantine and also stay fit in quarantine? Let's talk a little bit more about this, because I know a lot of people are binge eating. I might have a package of Oreos in there that's getting attacked on a nightly basis. How can we stay fit and eat healthy and make healthy meals when we're not going to the stores often and where life sometimes just tells us to binge eat?
So it's really simple. What I suggest to my clients is the 80-20 rule. Try to eat 80% clean and then have that 20%, right? Because you might find that with that balance, it's easier to stick to your goals. I like a cheat meal. I'm probably having more cheat meals than I would if we weren't quarantined, to be honest. But I just try to think of smart cheats. Like, okay, I'm craving chocolate. Let me make my truffle recipe that's super clean and doesn't have sugar, A lot of times we have to listen to our bodies. If you find that you're stress eating, a great way to alleviate that stress is maybe write down what's stressing you out and figure out strategies and put strategies in place for success. And that's just something that I tell my clients all the time when I'm coaching them along their journey is, what are your trigger points? Oh, okay, if this stresses you out, then you know it's stressing you out. So let's develop strategies in place of the stress eating in order for you to reach your goals. As far as staying fit, I mean, what else do you have to do, right? So, just sitting 15 minutes a day aside can help you jumpstart your journey. And so I'm excited because the workout boot camp we're going to do today is my Fit in 15-minute workout. Just doing this for 15 days straight for 15 minutes a day will change your fitness life.
Oh, I'm excited for this. And if anybody missed that at the beginning when Danielle mentioned it, we are going to do a workout very soon. So go get your stretchy pants and your sneakers and get a towel and water, because it sounds like Elise has something really good prepared for us. I'm curious, as a mom, how do you make sure that your kids eat a healthy diet when so many kids just want to eat macaroni and cheese all the time?
Elizabeth, that's a great question. Studies suggest that scientifically you need to introduce a new food to your child at least 3 or 4 times before they'll like it, accept it. And so I just encourage you not to give up. Like, keep introducing that. They say no, okay, introduce it again. Or another thing that I found out really works well is getting your kids in the kitchen with you, getting them involved. If you have a toddler, hey, let them stir this. Ooh, you ready to eat this? Get them excited. If you have a teenager like I do, get them dicing, get them interested. I noticed my son is really excited to try something that he helped prepare.
That's really good advice. What are some of your kids' favorite things to eat?
My son loves jasmine rice, chicken, steak, popcorn. He likes popcorn, but popcorn's a good snack. I try to keep healthy snacks so that there's really no other choice and option. But yeah.
Okay, those are good. I'm like ready to take notes, because I swear my kids like spaghetti and meatballs, mac and cheese, and occasionally chicken.
You can make spaghetti healthy. You ever heard of Barilla double protein pasta, Barilla Plus?
So I think I've seen that in the store.
Yeah, so it's whole grain. It has 10 grams of protein per serving. So you can feel good about that, you know, and then you just, instead of using jarred sauce that typically has a lot of sugar, you just dice up tomatoes, puree them, make your own.
That was my next question, the sauce, because I love to make, or to buy, excuse me, just a jar of spaghetti sauce. So it's just as easy as chopping up tomatoes and throwing them in you put them in a blender? Do you just cook them on the stove?
Yeah, so typically I take the tomatoes, I dice them up and I put them in a blender. I'll saute onions, green peppers, wild mushrooms. I use bison. Have you ever had bison?
Bison?
Yes.
Maybe at a restaurant when they have bison burgers, maybe.
Okay, so they have like ground bison, but it's like the leanest choice that you can get. It's super clean because it's typically grass fed. And yeah, I'll blend up my tomatoes, pour it in there, saute it up, they eat it up. And like, I get the smell because I'm like, it's healthy.
That sounds amazing. I'm curious, do you grow anything? Are you able to have a garden where your house is?
Yes, I actually have an herb garden.
Oh, let's talk more about herbs, because I think a lot of our viewers had questions about herbs and I wrote some of them down. Let's see here. There were some really good ones. Well, somebody asked, how do you limit sugar and salt in your meals without losing flavor? Are herbs a good way to make that switch? Can you talk?
Yes, and so I like things like Mrs. Dash. I don't know if anyone has heard of Flavor God, but Flavor God has some bomb seasonings. My favorite one is ghost pepper. Chocolate donut is really good. They have a cinnamon roll one that is really, really good. And what I like to do is when I'm craving sweets, I eat oatmeal. Oatmeal is a great choice every day. I'll sprinkle the chocolate donut in there and voila, you know, you've satisfied a craving. I use the buttery cinnamon roll. And salt's not a bad thing. Salt gets such a bad rap. Like if you have hypertension, then maybe salt is not for you and you should probably cut back on salt if you're suffering from things like that or high blood pressure. But salt is really good for you. It's a mineral. I suggest using like pink Himalayan sea salt. And then, you know, just drinking water. If you're drinking your water every day, salt is fine.
And I've heard that the typical guidelines for water are half your body weight in ounces. Is that what you tend to recommend to your clients?
Typically, I recommend 67% of your body weight in water.
Okay. I think I need that with my water. I need to drink more water. That's good for me to know. I'm going to switch gears because we had several questions come in ahead of time about the keto diet. And I'm curious to know, what is your opinion on the keto diet? Are they safe for people with hypertension? And how would you compare that with simply doing a high protein diet?
So I always tell my clients, skip the fad diet and eat for your body type, right? I'm a big believer in the 3 different body types and eating for those. So if you're an ectomorph, an endomorph, or a mesomorph, there's a way that you should typically eat. Mesomorph body type is more muscular. You're gonna need more carbs. Ectomorph, you might find that you have more body fat. If you have more body fat, then you're gonna wanna cut back on the carbs some. But keto, I feel like is not the best diet long-term just because you're eating so many fats. And a lot of people abuse the keto thing. Like if you're eating keto, high fat. Okay, so in my book, I would be thinking avocado, whole eggs, but then you're exposing yourself to a lot of saturated fat and cholesterol, which long-term could be bad for you. So I would say just eat, you know, customize, eat for your body type and eat a well-balanced diet.
I like that. Everything in moderation, right?
Yeah, because everybody like wants to eat keto and be like, I can have a pound of bacon on keto. Well, that's not necessarily good for you. You probably will lose weight if you cut all the carbs. That's just science. But are you healthy? That visceral fat builds up really fast when you're on the keto type of diet and you're doing it incorrectly. And visceral fat is the fat that develops between our organs that causes different things like diabetes, obesity, cancer, things we really want to avoid.
Wow, that hits home for a lot of people. I know. I'm going to take a break and check in with Danielle. Do we have any questions in the Q&A box for Elise?
Yes, we do have one going back to your military spouse hat. Someone's just wondering if I know maybe you touched on it a little bit, but perhaps talk a little bit more about any challenges you face with being a military spouse.
Challenges. Sometimes I feel like time together is sort of a challenge. I noticed that my husband is really busy a lot, you know, when it comes to different job duties and things of that nature. And so sometimes I feel like a challenge is finding time to spend together. And I know I'm blessed because, you know, some of you out there have to deal with like your husband being sent far out and you might not be able to spend the time that you want. So I haven't had to deal with that issue yet, but definitely a challenge for me is missing the people that come into my life that I built relationships with when they move to another state.
Are there any other questions for us, Danielle, right now?
Thank you so much. One other question did pop in, going back to the diets. Someone is wondering about the best diet for a hypoglycemic person.
So the best diet for hypoglycemic is wanting to keep your blood sugar steady. So I'm going to say complex carbohydrates are a must. Complex carbohydrates keep you even, keep your blood sugar from spiking. So I would say oats, you know, eating small meals throughout the day to keep your blood sugar steady. And you want to eat on the low glycemic index. So when you eat something like sushi rice or white rice, that surges your insulin, right? That causes an insulin response. But when you're eating oatmeal and brown rice and quinoa and things of that nature, it keeps you on an even keel. So I would say 6 small meals a day. 3 of those should have complex carbohydrates, oatmeal, quinoa, brown rice.
Perfect, thank you. And as you were speaking, another question came in, and I think you answered it in that. What would be a good diet for insulin resistance, so that keeping it steady, right?
So insulin resistance, to beat that, you kind of got to pull the carbs. Insulin resistance happens when your body just doesn't respond. And typically it's when you're eating the wrong types of carbohydrates. So I've had clients who've had that issue. And what I've done is pull all of the carbs from their diet for maybe like 2 or 3 weeks and then putting them back. But when I put them back, it's complex carbohydrates. So I would suggest carb cycling. And so that's an easy way to look it up. If you're looking to get started and you want to Google it, look up carb cycling. It's when you're pulling the carbs from your diet for a short amount of time and then putting them back to get your body to respond.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We're all learning a lot. Speaking of that, a couple of questions have come in about your favorite go-to meal. 2 different people asked this. What's your favorite go-to meal during the weeknight when things are busy?
I love a good filet mignon, but if I can't find that, I like rack of lamb. But lately, that's been hard to find as well. So then the next runner-up on that would be roasted chicken. But I like to cook it spatchcock style. So I cut the spine out of it and make it flat and then season it all nice and roast it so the skin's nice and crispy.
That sounds so good. I'm over here thinking about a chicken that I'm going to put in the Instant Pot later, and yours sounds way better.
Yes, we're all trying not to get hungry over here.
Right, because we still have a workout.
Yes, well, that was most of the questions that came in. Liz, I'll throw it back over to you, and for our audience, we'll continue to get to questions. No worries.
Thank you, Danielle. I just saw that Becky in the chat box wrote, does Elise use the Instant Pot? All right, tell, do you or don't you?
That's hilarious because I was thinking it and she must have saw me thinking it. I have one on my counter that I got for my birthday 2 years ago, but I'm an old school chef and I don't really know how to use it. I don't. Yeah, I'm old school when it comes to cooking. Like I cook my rice in a pot. I cook my chicken on a rack in the stove.
That's relatable. We got a Instant Pot for Christmas, and I say I got it for my husband for Christmas, but he's been in Iraq for a year, so he can't take it with him. So I got it so that I could use it. And I was so intimidated, but a friend gave me advice and said, don't bother reading the instruction booklet, just go on YouTube and look up how to use my Instant Pot. And she said, start easy. So I can boil eggs in the Instant Pot and I can cook a chicken. And that's where I got so this Christmas.
Go girl. Yeah.
So there's that.
I'm gonna have to Google how to use mine and try to like make something in it. I don't know. I look at it and be like, nah. I just feel like it'll take me longer to try to figure out how to use it when I could just throw a meal together.
Yes, I totally agree. Well, apparently YouTube, like everything else, you can learn how to do it on YouTube. Let's actually talk about your YouTube channel, because I was searching for you and I found your YouTube channel and I saw that you have a new series called Quarantine Kitchen. And the one I saw was bougie on a budget. And that's one of my favorite words right now. So Tell me more about producing your own cooking show from home. Tell me about Bougie on a Budget, date night with your husband at home. Talk us through this.
So I just saw a need. Like, I was like, I know I can't be the only one sitting here cooking every day and feeling like, okay, what am I going to cook today? Because I feel like all I do is cook. And so I was like, oh, how can you be like, gourmet on a budget? Because I'm sure everyone else is going through that as well. And I said, oh, you could be bougie on a budget and make something fancy out of minimal ingredients that you might have in your pantry. It's fun producing my own show because I just feel like I'm able to give something. So.
How do you do it? I mean, is it a pretty easy, smooth, like you just set up your phone and go, or do you have editing software? Does your husband help film it? Do your kids help you with it? How does it work?
No, I have a young guy who's in the process of growing his business. He shoots all of my videos. I basically play executive producer. So I'll write out the idea, write out all the shots that we need to get, and then he'll shoot it and edit it. And then I'll look at the final product and say, well, I think this should happen, or I visualize this, how we make that happen. And so I guess it comes from like having a little bit of TV experience and being like, oh, that's how they do that. It's funny because you watch the show Hell's Kitchen, but then when you're on it, you're like, oh man, they manipulate a lot of stuff, you find out. And so it's like, you learn a lot.
Oh, that's kind of disappointing. I'll never watch reality TV again. The same.
It's reality, but some things are manipulated.
Do you have any other reality shows coming up that you're looking at being on or that you're in talks about?
I can't answer that question. I gotta keep that quiet, girl. Look, you good. You good.
We're hardcore journalists here. No journalistic training. I'm not pretending.
I can't tell. You on it. You good.
It's fine. I was just curious. I was thinking about Chopped. I used to love to watch Chopped because I feel like it came on right around dinner time and it would give me inspiration when I opened up the pantry. Do you ever have those nights where you open up the pantry and you're like, well, I don't know what to do? Or do you typically have a meal plan in your mind for like a few days out?
By the end of the week, I'm just like scrambling, like, okay, what am I gonna eat now? I feel like I've eaten everything there is to eat. And plus, I really believe in the 6 meals a day, so I eat a lot. So it's like, okay, I eat chicken every day, and it's like 6 years later, I can't tell you how many pounds of chicken I've eaten, how many cups of rice. And so sometimes by the end of the week, I find like, okay, I need something different. Like, what am I gonna have? Oh, let's do burgers or, but typically I eat pretty much the same thing. And so I feel like I'm really great with training other people to learn how to eat like a robot pretty much to like get to your goals. And so, you can eat healthy and still have variety, but it just depends on what level you're trying to get with your fitness. Like getting on stage, you literally eat the same thing over and over and over, measured out, no pizzazz for 12 weeks.
And that was fun?
Yeah. 80-20, I'm still pretty fit with the 80-20. Instead of having like an 8-pack, I might have a 4-pack. So like that's the difference with the 80-20. Like, you can get in shape with that, but like typically when you're fit, you really have to go hard to get to the next level fit. Like you're super fit. If you wanted to be more fit than you are, you would really have to like eat super plain. And that's, the reality of it that no one talks about.
We're going to talk about it here because we're hardcore journalists today. I did see somebody just wrote something in the chat box and it went away, but I read it real quickly. Curious about eating healthy and staying on track when you're in the middle of a move, in the middle of a PCS, or you're stuck in lodging, you maybe only have the half kitchen. And I know that I've been in that position before, and during PCS, it is hard. Do you have any tips for how to stay healthy during a move?
Yes, batch cook, meal prep, cook your stuff ahead of time. I'm not one to come to and be like, well, how am I going to make it happen? Because anybody who's ever traveled with me during a prep will tell you I am hardcore. I have burners in my trunk. I put them in my suitcase. I will plug in at the hotel, scramble some eggs real quick. Like I've packed my food. I've figured out how to like drive long trips with my food. I'll touch down somewhere, go get all of my ingredients and go back to my hotel room and cook them. So you can do it.
Excites me. I feel like I want to make it through a PCS with you now, because to me that sounds awesome. I like the plan, how you have everything in place.
Yeah, you have to think ahead. You have to plan ahead, write a list. Yeah, be organized. Like literally you just go buy fish and you like cook it and you portion it and you chill it and you pack it. If you don't have that option, you figure out where you're going, you look up a store, you know exactly where you're going. When you get off that plane, you go, you get stuff that you can execute in a small kitchen. And like I said, I have burners, like literal burners that I've packed when I was in a prep in my suitcase. And my assistant and everybody was like, you are crazy. Like I'm like scrambling eggs in my hotel room, like judge me. So.
That's brilliant. I've never heard of taking burners with you, but I like that idea. Do you have any meals that can be made in a microwave? Because I'm thinking to one of the PCSs my family made when we moved over to Germany in 2016. We didn't have burners. We didn't have a stove or an oven. We had a microwave. Is there anything that we can do in a microwave?
Yeah, you could cook in a microwave. I wouldn't know what to tell you to cook in a microwave because I don't really. The microwave, I don't even really like eating leftovers. That's a fun fact about me. I try to cook just enough and I cook a lot and I'm always like cooking. I really am not a leftover fan, but when I'm in prep, there is no choice. Like you really turn into a machine. Like by week 8, you don't even taste anything no more. You just eat it and go. So.
What's the last competition that you did?
So I was going to do a competition last year, but then I found out I was pregnant. I was 2 weeks out from my show and I had like a rash on my arm and I was like, what is going on? Like I thought because I lived in the gym, I didn't caught contact with something. I went and they were like, it's not shingles, ma'am, it's a baby. And I kind of sat there in shock, but I was literally like the fittest and the best physique I ever had, but I just couldn't get my 2 lower abs to come in. And I found out it was a whole human.
Yeah, imagine that.
So, but before that, I usually compete every year. I do 2 or 3 shows. I compete in the NPC natural because I am a natural athlete and I don't ever want it bad enough not to be natural. So yeah, a whole baby. That's D from Shreve. Yes, a whole baby.
That's awesome. Danielle, do we have any more questions coming up in the Q&A box?
Yes, we do have a couple, but really quickly, I just want to go back to the YouTube channel. I believe I saw someone in the chat somewhere ask for you to say, give us the name of your YouTube channel again. We've got lots of people that want to look you up.
So Elise M. Harris.
And everyone, I will throw that in the chat. Okay, thank you. And then, yes, we have some other questions coming in. Speaking of a whole baby, someone's asking how many kids do you have?
So I have 2. I have my daughter just turned 5 months old and my son is 12 about to turn 13. And it's crazy because I was in the best shape of my life and I bounced back so fast and I don't think I was expecting that. And so I'm excited because I'm in the process of writing a book about it called Body After Baby. And it's like your all-around guide to getting your body back after you have your baby. It'll be broken down by trimester. And so every trimester, it comes with its different challenges. And this one will come with a workout plan, recipes to get you through.
So we all need to be on the lookout for this book. There are 2 questions that came in related to that as well. So people are wondering, how did you bounce back? Someone is sharing, I just had my 3rd baby, not the same. And in a different question, but perhaps related, someone shared, I work out, but I seem to always have a pooch. How can I fix that?
Okay, so let's start with the Body After Baby. So it's really simple. What I did was I worked out every day and I stayed on my 6 small meals a day. I just didn't deprive myself. I ate really healthy. So I ate like my oats and my eggs in the morning with like fresh berries. I still drink my protein shakes. I ate green salads with protein. Did I give into my cravings? Sometimes, but as a nutritionist, I know that when your body is craving something, for instance, I was like, oh, I really need sugar. And I'm not a sugar person. When I incorporated fruit, that went away. And so it's just like being really smart, listening to your body. I also worked out. I would say at least 3 to 4 times a week. I still did lightweight training. I was very careful. I did the Stairmaster and things of that nature. I just stayed on it and I was careful not to overindulge all the time on all my cravings. So I would set aside 1 day a week and I would have what I wanted and then I would get right back on it. So that's what I would suggest. But of course, talk to your doctor before exercising if you're pregnant and you're listening. Make sure you talk to your doctor and you're approved to do all of that. I was cleared by my doctor to continue. They say if you're doing it before you're pregnant, then it's safe to continue. But again, just check with your doctor and don't ever deprive yourself during your pregnancy. Make sure you're eating plenty healthy foods, eat the rainbow. So yeah, and then the whole pouch thing, abs are made in the kitchen. I tell people that all the time. Like literally, you can work out every single day like a mad person. If your diet is not clean, then yeah, the pooch thing is definitely a diet thing. And I would say pull back on any sugar if you are, drink plenty of water. 9 times out of 10, a lot of my clients I see that have a pooch problem aren't drinking enough water. They up their water to a gallon and they're like, wow, my stomach's already flatter. A detox could be a way to go, and starting a healthy, clean, food-based detox will get you on along the way to your goals. Burn that fat. Fasted cardio is another great tip. So you could do cardio first thing out of bed in the morning, drink a glass of water, and you just do something low impact. It could be walking, biking, Stairmaster. That'll burn belly fat fast.
This is great. Thank you so much. I find myself writing down some tips too. I'm sure you all are as well. So I'll throw one more at you and then I'll let Liz keep going. But speaking of what you're giving your body, how you're fueling your body, what do you tell your clients about drinking?
In moderation. I love wine. I do feel like, you know, everything in moderation. You can live a fun life and still, you know, attain your fitness goals. But I would say like, you know, 1 to 2 drinks a week. If you're a wine drinker, choose red wine. And it's crazy because nowadays there's so many fit options out there. I do have clients who ask me about alcohol, so I'll go ahead and touch down on that. Tequila would be what I would recommend. Vodka is made from potato and your body metabolizes it as a carb and a starch and sugar. But tequila is super clean. It comes from a plant. And so, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Liz, I'll let you keep rolling.
All right, well, I'm looking at the time. It's 3:39. Should we get going on our boot camp so that we make sure we have enough time to finish it out?
Yeah, sure.
All
Let's
right.
get it.
I'm going to put myself on mute so you can't hear me huffing and puffing, but I'll keep going. Everybody else get ready for this. Get your water, get your towel. We're going to do it.
So just a little bit about how our workout's going to go. It's here on the board. Fit in 15. So you can get fit in just 15 minutes a day. How this is going to work is it's going to be 30 seconds on, 30 seconds active rest, 2 rounds. It's going to be alternating squat jumps, Russian twists, single leg deadlifts, push up with shoulder tap, prisoner squat, and half burpee. I have a timer here that's going to keep us on track. And really quickly, I can run through the exercises for you. Hold on, let me flip the camera real quick. All right, so alternating squat jump. I'm gonna run through it so that we can just go through the workout. So you're gonna go into a squat and you're gonna turn. You're gonna push those glutes back, keep that chest up, and really focus on that mind-muscle connection, right? Because we're working with body weight here. And so you're gonna use that to your advantage. Russian twist, you're gonna bring it down to the ground, cross those ankles, and tap. You're gonna really lean into it, taking care to keep that core tight. Modified version, your heels can touch, and we're still in there. Okay, single leg deadlift, left and right. So you're gonna pull that foot up on the toe, advanced, you would lift the foot up, and you're just gonna lean into it and up. Hinge at the hip and up. You're gonna take care to push that glute back and come up, squeeze at the top. We'll switch to the other leg, same motion. You're gonna feel it because I'm already feeling it. Push up with shoulder tap. You're gonna come down into a push up and tap. Modified version, you can be on your knees. Advanced, clap, tap, 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 tap. Prisoner squats, hands behind your head, toes are pointed out, and we're gonna just pump that out, as many as you can get. And finally, half burpee. So you're gonna come down into a burpee, but you're not gonna jump. You're just gonna stand up. Y'all ready to go? I'm gonna set the timer and we're gonna get after it. First, we're gonna start with 1 minute warm up. So bring your arms up above your head. Take 5 nice deep breaths in and out. Two more. You're gonna bring it down. Touch those toes. Turn your head in and feel that stretch up your spine and your hamstrings. Bring it up, one leg behind, 25 seconds. Stretch that other leg, bring it down into a 90-degree stretch. Push that front knee into the ground. Switch to the other side. Yes, feel that stretch. Up on your feet. We're getting ready to go into the first round. It's going to be alternating jump squats.
Alternating squat jump.
Let's go. Let's go. Keep it moving. We're almost there. Push those glutes back.
3, 2, 1.
Active rest. Gonna keep those feet moving. Thirty-second active rest. Let's go. Tell that central nervous system it's time to go. We're getting fit in 15 minutes. Next exercise we're going into is Russian twist. 5 seconds.
3, 2, 1.
Bring it down.
Russian twist.
Feel that burn. Let's go. 2 rounds of this. Y'all are killing it. Keep it up. Halfway there.
Three, 2, 1. Active rest.
On your feet, active rest. Let me get shadow box. Woo! The great thing about active rest is that you're going to produce the afterburn effect. That means you'll continue to burn calories long after this workout is over. Let's go. Get fit with me. Woo!
Three, 2, 1.
Single leg deadlift.
Left.
And we're in there. Push those glutes back. Again, if you're advanced, lift that leg up. It's okay to keep that foot touching the ground there for balance. Let's go. Woo. Feel the burn.
3, 2, 1.
Other side.
Single leg deadlift. Right.
You are halfway through round 1. Let's go. We getting fit today. Woo. Ten seconds. Hang in there.
3, 2, 1.
Push.
Active rest.
Active rest, so keep those feet moving. Let's go. Let's go. Now you're getting it. There's 10 seconds left. Next exercise coming up is that push-up. Are you ready? Let's go.
3, 2, 1.
Bring it down.
Half push up.
Now, modified version is okay. On your knees, cross those ankles. Bring it up. Yes. You got this. Resist the urge to rest. We're almost through with round 1. Keep it moving.
3, 2, 1. Active rest.
Active rest. Let me get an uppercut. Keep those arms tight to your core and pump it. We're working our biceps here, our back and our shoulders. Keep that core tight. Focus on your breathing. You got this.
Three,
2,
1.
1.
Prisoner squat.
Prisoner squats, hands behind your head. How many can you get? Let's go. Yes. I know y'all are feeling it. Look. Push those glutes back. Stand up nice and tall. Hang in there. You're almost there. Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Active rest.
Active rest, keep those feet moving. Just one more exercise in round 1, and we're halfway there. I know you can see yourself getting fitter already. Let's go. As long as those feet are moving, you're burning calories. Yes.
3, 2, 1. Half burpee.
Half burpee, bring it down, let's go. And who's gonna finish this round with me strong? Let's go. Hang in there. Woo, it's burning now.
3, 2, 1. Rest.
Just gonna walk in place. We're gonna recover our breath. Great job on the first round. One more round to go before you discover the fittest version of yourself. Woo!
If you say it's gonna take 30 minutes to do one round.
Let's go. Yes. Woo.
I'm loving the people who don't know how you're talking and doing the workout. This is
Girl, I don't know either. Let's go. Keep those feet moving.
We love your energy.
Thank you. Let's go. We're going to pick it up. Start to pick up the speed. Keep that body warm. Tell your central nervous system it's time for round 2. Y'all ready? Let's go. 5 seconds.
3,
2, 1. Alternating jump squat. Let's go. Hang in there. You're almost there. Round 2 underway.
That's halfway.
That's halfway. Yes, let's go. Feel the burn. Modified version. Squat, step, squat, step.
Active rest.
Active rest. Keep those feet moving. We're all looking forward to those Russian twists, right? That's like our break. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. You got this. 15 seconds. Woo!
Three, 2, 1. Russian twist.
Russian twist. Bring it down to the ground. You got this. Hang in there, champ. We're almost across the finish line. You can see it. Let's go. How many can you get on round 2? Let's go. Modified version. Heels touch the ground. You're still in it. Yes.
3,
2,
1.
1.
Active rest.
Bring it up. Shadow box. This is how we come in for our goals today. Yes. Yes, let's go. Let's go. You're almost there. Single leg deadlift coming up. Yes.
3, 2, 1.
Single leg deadlift.
Leg.
Push those glutes back. You'll feel that stretch in your hamstrings. Stay focused. You got this. I don't know about you, but I'm working up a good sweat. Let's go. How many are you gonna get? Make that movement deliberate.
3, 2, 1.
Switch
Single
sides.
leg deadlift. Right.
You're in there. Yes. Let that body weight work for you. Keep your chest up. Hinge at the hips. How many you got in you? Give me 10. Let's go. You got this. Come on, 8 more. Let's go. Yes, you got this.
3, 2, 1. Active rest.
Active rest. Get those ankles crisscrossing. Let's go. You are more than halfway through of round 2. You can see that finish line. Let's go. Keep that body moving. You got this.
3, 2, 1. Shoulder tap push up.
Let's go. Tap those shoulders. Make it count. We building bodies. Let's go. Yes. Modified version, knees. Tap. Tap. Woo.
3, 2, 1. Active rest.
Bring it back up. Not time to quit now. You see that finish line? Sprint for it. Let's go. Come on. Keep those feet moving. You got this. We're almost there. Let's go. Yes. 5 seconds. 3.
3,
Let's go.
2,
2,
1.
1.
Prisoner squat.
Prisoner squat. Let's go. How low can you go? Yes. Oh, I'm so proud of you all. Just one more exercise left for round 2 and you killed it. Yes. So it's not time to quit now. Gotta finish strong.
3,
Hang in there.
2, 1. Active rest.
Active rest. Keep those feet moving. We finishing strong. We head towards that finish line. There it is. Time to sprint after it. Let's go. This is how you're gonna burn the most calories in 15 minutes. Good job. Let's go. Come on. Keep those feet moving. 3 seconds.
2, 1.
Half burpee. Think about how you're about to finish. You're killing it. How many are you gonna get this round? Yes. Let's go. I'm getting excited thinking about it. Woo.
3, 2.
Give me one more.
Cool down.
Congratulations, you did it. Woo! That's how you get fit in 15 minutes. Bring those arms up to a nice stretch. It's our cool down. Woo! Bring it down into a squat. Push those knees out and stretch your hip abductors. Great job. Focus on your breathing here. In and out. Bring it down into some cat-cows. We're gonna stretch our spine. You're gonna start on all fours. Round your spine. And down. Round it. And down. 3 more. 2. And 1. You're gonna bring up your right hand. Reach all the way under
2.
And touch your
1.
shoulder to the floor.
Your timer is complete.
3 nice deep breaths in and out. Great job. Bring your left hand up underneath that right and touch that shoulder to the floor. 3 breaths. 3, 2, and 1. Nice job, ladies and gentlemen. Way to go.
Yes, awesome job, ladies. I feel an obligation to talk at least for about 10 seconds here because I can't imagine how you were trying to catch your breath. We did see some people engaging in the chat. Lots of kudos to you all. You both crushed it. I have posted a couple times. Some people did not have the opportunity to do it now, but would love to view it later. So everyone, that will be made available. I have shared that link in the chat.
Awesome.
And I'll let you catch your breath, but someone did notice your cool kicks, in their words.
Oh.
At least they'd love to know where you got them from.
Thank you. You actually won't believe this, but they were $12 at the Nike outlet. I bought them when it was like 100 degrees outside, so I guess everybody was like, oh my God, I don't want boots. I bought them in every color. They were 12 bucks.
That is amazing. Can't beat a good deal.
Right.
Well, thank you so much, Liz. I'll maybe throw at you guys the one last question that's sitting in here. Aside from not doing it now and viewing it later, someone also did make a comment about perhaps recovering from something like carpal tunnel surgery. So things like that where you're coming back, maybe you can't put all your body weight on one hand, for example. Maybe any suggestions you have for good resources to check out for modified versions?
Oh, absolutely. If you're recovering from an injury, definitely make sure that you're cleared by your doctor to go full throttle. I would recommend that you work on physical therapy for whatever affliction that you have, whatever injury that you have, and working with a personal trainer really can help you reach your goals while nursing an injury and not making it worse and making a full recovery. For instance, if your wrist is injured, then you're not going to want to go lifting heavy dumbbells or anything that's going to put weight on that, but you could maybe get into a spin class, you know, that's less weight on your wrist, and you're also getting great cardio, and you can build muscles too on, you know, a spin bike. Put a little tension on there, and then before you know it, you have some nice little quads and hamstring definition going on. But definitely I would say focus on rehabilitating whatever injury you have so that you can be at 100%. A personal trainer definitely helps.
Anything else, Danielle, from the Q&A box?
Perfect. As I say, thank you. I think we got to all of your questions. There might have been a couple of very specific diet questions. We've come up on our end time. So I encourage you all to check out the recording when we have it available. Make this part of your routine. And no, that was it. Thank you, Liz. I'll let you.
All right, Elise, if people want to continue to see what you're up to, how can they find you? Can we put up some of your social media handles?
Absolutely. You can find me on Instagram at DivaChef412, Facebook at Elise Wims, Twitter at Elise TDC, and again, my YouTube is Elise M. Harris. You can feel free to email me any nutrition questions you may have at EliseTheDivaChef@gmail.com.
EliseTheDivaChef@gmail.com. And just so everyone knows, we have just started a USO Military Spouse Facebook group. You can find us by searching on Facebook for USO Military Spouse. We are a closed group, meaning you have to request membership to join and show us that you are a military spouse, but we are visible, so you can find us if you search for us. We will be putting the recording from this Coffee Connection live on there. We also post about everything coming up soon, so we'll be sure to put Elise's links all in there for how to find her on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and then of course you can rewatch this if you want to do that workout. Elise, how often should we be doing that workout again?
Daily.
Daily.
Every day, 7 days a week.
I love it. I love it. Well, everyone, don't forget to check out the USO Military Spouse Facebook page for all of our upcoming Coffee Connections Live, Discovering Your Spark, lots of other virtual things that we have coming up for all of you in the military spouse community. Elise, thank you so much for being with us. This was actually really fun. I don't know how many people would love to do a workout, but I really enjoyed talking with you and working out with you. So thank you.
It was a pleasure.
And good luck with everything. And everyone should check out her stuff. She's amazing, as you can see. I hope you all join us next time for our next Coffee Connection Live. And thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elise.
Bye-bye.